Just returned from State of the Union, and we invited a dreamer from Arizona to attend and to be present there and let people know that this is a real human being with a real life and a real family. My overall impression of the speech is that it was controlled. Trump stuck to the script and the teleprompter, didn't wave off in a different direction, and it was scripted to hit some high points, some emotional high points. But let me tell you, overall, I didn't see anything other than, a more subdued rehashing of his campaign speeches, us versus them speech, the nationalism that was prevalent throughout the speech. And I thought on the issue of immigration, which is delicate and difficult and divisive, what did he do? He equated the dreamers and immigrants with the horror that MS-13 has brought to those families that lost their children. That was unfair. When he made the comment, Americans are dreamer too, dismissing the plea and the urgency of dealing with this issue. I thought, giving the American people credit for being the American people in terms of the natural disasters we've had, that it was not of his doing. He can't take credit for that. And take credit for an economy that was well on its way for recovery after Obama. He can't take credit for that. And we haven't seen the consequences of those tax cuts and what they're going to mean a year from now, or even less, to the American people and families. What didn't we hear? We didn't hear a word about education other than more training, which is okay, but we didn't hear about the dismantling of education. We did, when you mentioned regulation, we didn't talk about the weakening of public health standards. When he talked about the FDA, he didn't talk about the fact that loosening the ability for more drugs also loosens the regulatory and inspection process that FDA has to do with all pharmaceuticals before they come to the American people. And he didn't talk about a vision of America that's inclusive. It was still us versus them. I was disturbed by what we didn't hear. We didn't hear about Russia. We didn't hear about how we are going to push back and not allow them to try to influence elections as they did in 2016 and the ongoing investigations that continue there. We didn't hear about transparency and accountability in his administration. And we didn't hear hope about the future. What we heard is jingoism and slogans that, to me, had an undercurrent of nationalism to them all the way through. Like I said, it was a subdued speech, but it didn't say anything different than we've been hearing from this administration since he took office. And I think this next year is going to be a difficult year. Infrastructure that doesn't pay for itself, and other issues, the unresolved issue of immigration and DACA, the budget deal and the funding of government that hasn't been resolved yet. Still tough issues to go. And today we didn't hear a blueprint. We didn't hear aspirational comments from the president. We heard the same us versus them. America is going to be great again because we're going to win. That's not where we need to be as a nation. We need to be unified, and we need to take these problems seriously. I don't think there's seriousness in this administration, and so a speech that reaffirms the stereotypes that he's created around people, marginalizing communities, not paying attention to the cost of these tax cuts and the economy that he's setting up, and I think it's all going to come back. And I think the speech today, while managed, really didn't have the content or the substance that I think the American people were looking for.